Jen here from Sterling Cosplay. Today I'm going to do my most requested makeup tutorial ever, Miss Liara Tassoni herself. I've been getting requests to do this makeup tutorial for a while, and now that I'm finally making these videos, I thought now would be the perfect time. I also happen to have a photo shoot on today, so the stars just lined up. But because I have a photo shoot today, I have to get this done pretty quickly. So we're going to try something different today, and instead of me talking to you guys here, I'm going to hopefully do it in a voiceover. So let me know whether you guys like this format better or you're indifferent. We'll see how I like it after this video. If you'd like to know how I painted this headpiece, you can go check out my other video that I've just done. I'll probably put a link in the description below. This headpiece is by Chiara Bartoli. I will put her link below as well. It is a foam latex headpiece, so it might be different in application than your standard latex headpiece, but I think the method is basically the same. Quick disclaimer, this is just the way that I do this. This is by no means the be-all and end-all of this makeup. If you have another way you like doing it, great, but if you want to see how I create my Liara Tassoni makeup, then just keep watching.
To get started, we need to get our hair out of the way. For this, I'm just going to use a spray bottle with some water and spray my hair until it's completely damp. Wetting your hair helps with getting rid of any flyaways without the use of hairspray. Next, I'm going to braid my hair right down the middle. I have quite thin hair, so I can just do the one braid, but if your hair is thicker, you're going to want to do 2 braids. Then I take that braid and turn it into a nest on the back of my head and pin it in place with a single bow pin. You want to use as few pins as possible because you don't want to risk puncturing the headpiece. Next, I'll take some witch hazel on a cotton pad and completely cleanse my face of all its oils. Oh, and don't forget your neck too. Now we're finally ready for the headpiece. Try to make sure your headpiece is on symmetrically now so you don't have to worry about playing with it too much later. To glue down my headpiece, I'm just going to use Pros-Aide on a cotton tip, and it's important to start from the center of your forehead and work your way down. The reason for that is that it reduces the risks of any folds that might happen, and if they do happen, they happen lower down the neck so that no one will actually notice them. It's important to always work from the back to the front of a seam so that you get it as flat to your head as possible. As I was only going to be wearing this for a couple of hours, I only put glue on one side, but I recommend if you're going to a convention to always put glue on both your skin and on the appliance. It's important to be patient and work down each side evenly during this step so you don't end up with a wonky headpiece. You'll notice this the most when you try to match up your headpiece to your jawline. Also, don't do what Jen's doing here, always keep your head straight when you're putting on a headpiece. Once it's all glued down, we can move on to the blending. So I'm taking some Pros-Aide No Tack on a cotton tip, and I'm going to brush that up into the seam. This is the first of many layers that we're going to be spackling up into the headpiece. At this point, I'm also going to start covering my brows by brushing backwards through them with the same Pros-Aide No Tack on the same cotton tip. It's important to cover all the hairs and to brush them upwards so that they lay flat against your skin. Next, I'm taking a neutral set powder and just powdering all the edges, especially around the neck, so that I don't stick to myself. Next up is Cabo Patch, or Bondo, which is just a half-half mixture of Cabosil and Pros-Aide No Tack. I'm taking a tiny bit on a spatula and I'm going to start spackling that up into the seams just like we did with the Q-tip. While spackling, a good thing to keep in mind is to get as little product on the headpiece as possible. This is to avoid creating any extra bulkiness to the seam. Blending the seam line into your skin is the most important step in any prosthetic makeup, so take your time and be patient. I'm going to use this same technique in my eyebrows to fill in the gaps between my hairs. After all the glue dries, I'm going to powder it so I can get a really good feel of it and see if it's seamless. Once we're happy with the seams, it's time to move on to sealing. I like to seal my edges for this look with a PAX paint, which is just acrylic and Pros-Aide mixed together. And I'm going to sponge that along all the edges, as well as use it as a base color as a transition between the headpiece and my skin. This is where you're going to look kind of dumb. But have no fear, here comes the body paint. So I'm going to take some Ben Nye Magicake and some Liquicet waterproofing liquid on a brush, and I'm just going to paint that all over my face and my neck. Sometimes I find it difficult to cover everything with a brush, so I use a sponge to give everything a second layer. At this point, you might notice that your seams aren't as perfect as you'd like, but that's okay. Remember, you're a cosplayer and you're just doing your best. Our next step is shading, so I'm taking a water-activated paint and I'm going to put that into all the contours of my face. I like to blend these out while they're still wet with a sponge with some of our original base color on it. Make sure you work quite quickly when you're working with water-activated paint, as it dries down very fast. To finish off our neck, we're going to taper off those tentacles down into our collarbone. Use the same black paint to bring it down and then blend it out with the sponge. We're going to continue contouring our face by going into the hollows of the eyes with the same black paint and blending that out, and also down the ridge of our nose. The goal here is just to bring the dimension back to your face. We're finally ready for beauty makeup. I like to start with the hardest part first, which is the eyebrows. So I take a liquid eyeliner and I dot out where I want my eyebrows to start and where I want them to end. Of course, if you're not doing Liara and you're just doing an Asari, you can skip this step, as most Asari don't have eyebrows. Following a reference, I'm just drawing these in carefully and then cleaning up with a small brush with some of my body paint on it. Next we've got more contouring. How exciting! So I'm just taking this navy blue powder and putting it into all the dark points of my face. Moving on to eyes, Liara has this beautiful purple eyeshadow all over her lid, so I'm just going to put some of that on my finger and put it all over the center of my lid. Then I'm taking a black eyeshadow on a small brush and putting that into the crease of my eye and underneath my eyes to give them depth. To help the eyes pop, I also take a little bit of a purple highlighter and put that onto the center of my eyelids. To finish off the eyes, we're going to line them with a liquid liner on the tops and the bottoms. Then we're taking an eyeliner pencil and we're going to line the waterline of our eyes on the top and the bottom. Then we're going to set that eyeliner with some black eyeshadow. And lastly, we're going to curl our lashes and apply mascara. Moving down to lips. For longevity, I prefer to use a liquid liner to line my entire lip. I use this technique for any cosplay that involves a black lip because I just find that it lasts longer and I can eat with it on and it doesn't come off. You can tidy it up with a little bit of body paint. Then take an eyeshadow of your choosing, put some on your finger and just press it gently into the lip. Our last is detailing. Liara has these dark purple freckles, so I like to go in with the same eyeshadow as before with a little bit of mixing liquid and just dot them carefully all across my face. If you make a mistake and put on too much, you can always use your finger to bring down the opacity of that freckle pretty easily. To help finish the illusion, I like to take some of the silver body paint that I used on the headpiece and just dot that around again to give it back its detailing, as well as redrawing the spikes that join with the forehead. And finally, I like to take a blue toned highlighter and just put that on the high points of my face.
And this is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you did like this video, like and comment down below, that would be amazing. If you want to see more things like this, please subscribe, I would love that. Again, a huge shout out to Chiara Bartoli Sculpt and Effects for the original headpiece, and of course to Bioware for creating the Mass Effect series in general. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!